Hey everybody, Dean Colera, IT recruiter at SRA Staffing. Just wanted to give you a quick, Thursday job search quick tip. So for those of you who are going through interviews and you're getting negative feedback, and you want to know what the actual feedback is, so a question that I would suggest asking that'll help you decide if the feedback they're giving as to why they don't want to move forward with you is the actual reason, or if there's any other hidden unspoken objections, which I talk a lot about. So when they give you the call or you get the feedback, they say, hey, we're not looking to consider you for this role for reason XYZ. So what you need to respond with is, okay, great, thank you so much for providing me with that feedback. Aside from XYZ, is there any other reason why you feel I wouldn't be a fit for this position? Or is there any other reason why you feel your client wouldn't consider me for this role? Ask that question. And the way you phrase it, like I said, it depends on whether you're getting the feedback directly from someone within the company, like an internal in-house recruiter, maybe the hiring manager themselves, versus a staffing agency, right? So for the staffing agency, you're trying to find out, okay, aside from the fact that they don't want to move forward with me for reason X Y Z, is there any other reason why you feel your client would not want to consider me for this role? Now, if they say, well, I mean, I'm not sure if there's any other reason, if they say no, that's the reason they gave us, then ask them this. Then the next follow up question, if it's a staffing agency, well, how long have you been working with this client? And then they'll tell you how many years they've been working with the client. So if it's a long period of time, then you can follow up with, well, that's great. You've been working with this client for a long time. So obviously, you know a lot about this client, maybe the way they think, the way they make their decisions. What do you think? Like, what's your guess as to the actual reason why they didn't want to move forward with me, aside from the fact of XYZ, the reason they provided? So ask that question as well. And when you ask that, now there could very well be no other reason why. But what you want to do is you want to narrow it down and make sure there's no other reason why. Is there an unspoken objection? What does the recruiter think? Have they been working with this client for a while? Like, what's their input? What's their perspective on things? Why do they feel you weren't selected for the role? So what I want what I want all of you to do is to probe and dig a little deeper. Don't just take it at the first response. So again, like I always say, you gotta start thinking like a sales professional, right? Because when you're in job search mode, actually no, not just in job search mode, any 24/7, you need to think like a salesperson. So you need to probe and dig deeper as to why they're not buying you, right? Why aren't they moving you forward in the process? So I want you to probe a bit further. So remember this question, okay? So next time you get feedback that you're not chosen, you're not selected, they don't want to move forward with you, ask this question. Ask that question I just told you. Okay, great. Thank you so much for taking the time to provide me with feedback. Okay, by the way, be professional about it. Don't act all hurt and upset and angry, even though you might be. Keep that to yourself. Okay, they don't need to know that. So again, great. Thank you so much for taking the time to provide me with feedback. I really appreciate that. Now, aside from the fact that I don't have XYZ or whatever the reason is, what is there any other reason why you wouldn't want to consider moving me at least the next step in the process, or moving or making the decision to go with me versus other candidates you might be considering? And then shut up. Just shut up. Keep quiet. See what they say. See what their response is, and see what they have to say to that. And from their response, you can kind of judge as to what is there another reason? Is there something that they're not telling you? Could there be some other I don't know, barrier preventing them from moving forward with you? At least you get to find out, right? Because if it's something that they're willing to share with you, at least it'll help you in your job search. And the same thing, if it's a staffing agency, you want to ask, alter the question a bit, and ask that question. Great, thank you so much for providing me with that feedback. I really appreciate it. Look, knowing what you know about your client, and given that you've been working with your client for a while, if that's the case, what do you think? What do you think do you think that there's another reason why they don't want to move forward with me? I mean, aside from XYZ, I just feel I just feel that you might have an opinion on that. Like, what do you think the actual reason is? And just ask that. And again, see how they respond. See what they say. Maybe there's another reason why. Who knows? Or maybe you know what the reason is, and maybe you should just bring it up to them, right? and I can't think of an example. I don't know. Maybe you don't have X number of years of experience with a specific tool. Then ask them, well, is it because I don't have X number of years of experience with such and such tool? I mean, just ask. Maybe you already know what it is, but they just don't want to say anything, or they just don't feel confident about something you said at the interview. So make sure you bring, feel free to bring that up. At least you're having an open, transparent, and upfront, honest conversation. It's just two human beings discussing things, right? So do that. So probe a little deeper. Don't just take the no. We're not gonna consider you for the role. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Try and dig and probe a little deeper, and try and find out if there's any other reason why. And at least if there is another reason, at least you can find out, or at least you try to find out. Worst case scenario, they say no, there's no other reason why. At least you know that you asked them and you probed a little deeper, and you tried to find out if there's any other reason why, and they came back with nothing else. So anyway, my point is, ask that question, see what it gets you. It might open up a whole nother branch of conversation there, and try it out and implement that and do that when you're getting that feedback. All right, so hopefully that helps. I will put out another video tomorrow with my end of week thoughts, and if there's any particular topics you want me to cover, again, feel free to let me know. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dean Kulawira. I'm an IT recruiter at SRA Staffing. We're located in the Yonge and Shepherd area in Toronto. If you're in the area, you want to meet up, you want to drop by our offices, you want to meet with me, give me a heads up. Let me know. I'd love to meet with you and talk about your background and your especially your background, your skill set, the types of projects you've done. I am an IT recruiter, so if you are in IT, we can definitely do that. We can definitely meet up, schedule a phone call, whatever it is, or give me a call in my office Monday to Friday during business hours, 416-296-1772, extension 2036. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.